Returning to the CryptoQ Media channel brings us joy. I apologize, but I was hoping to know if July is still the start date for the upcoming season. In the beginning of July, the red flags start to appear, as I've already said. I feel bad that you're stuck and can't see a way out. After the first half of the off-season, the Ethereum ETF story will take center stage. If you're prepared for action, you'll have 3 to 6 months of uptime that's 100% alts. According to his posts, we have already finished the first part of the capital infusion into Bitcoin, which led to price increases. Now we may go on to the off-season. You can start directing that money into Ethereum now that the ETF is about to be published. In yesterday's video, which I'll embed in the top right corner, I briefly touched on the prospect of ETF approval on July 2, just 2 weeks away. After consistently surpassing Bitcoin in this market, Ethereum's performance is expected to soar in the third stage, large capitalization. The fourth stage starts when the seasonal pumping of microcaps, low caps, and mid caps all happens at about the same time. That, however, will transpire when Ethereum achieves its all-time peak, which is imminent. Meanwhile, for Ethereum to surpass 38%, we need to see more noteworthy advancements in the space. Those alterations won't take effect for quite a while. Everybody can see that Bitcoin hasn't been falling any farther, in other words, it has been stable. Bitcoin, fortunately, is a common sight. Plus, the 4-hour chart is where my Bitcoin gambling heart lies. I think everyone has a better understanding of the topic today. At the time of this recording, Bitcoin is still holding its own at this particular site. I just don't know how strong the support will be, so it's possible that we may see a reversal and levels seen in mid-May again. I believe many are hoping it doesn't happen and that things continue to go uphill. This reaccumulation era has been going strong for quite some time. The current price of 66,500 per coin is reminiscent of the earlier significant accumulation stages that followed Bitcoin's all-time high in previous cycles. This is something that Vendel brings to our attention in relation to alt season. He says that we aren't even close friends. Hopefully, this clarifies the current situation with the cryptocurrency season indicators extremely low cycle that began in November 2022. Few have been able to achieve greater success than Bitcoin did at its previous all-time peak. Several cryptocurrency prices are currently trading at a discount of 70% or more compared to their all-time high. Furthermore, 56% of the cryptocurrency market is controlled by Bitcoin. Everything up to this point is merely setting the stage for the season to take off. For the time being, though, I'll simply bring up all 3 market caps to conclude this tweet. I'll go into more detail about this later. This indicates that altcoins' dominance is significantly lower now compared to previous cycles. Coinbase retail trade volume reached a peak of $177 billion in Q3 2021 during the previous bull run. Only $56 billion worth of retail trades were executed on Coinbase in the fiscal year 2023 to 24. Thus, that is likewise a 68% decrease. All these steps indicate that there is still a considerable distance to go, thus this is just the start. I can just feel the anticipation building among you as you reflect on the first Bitcoin pump and ask, okay, was that it? I appreciate these analysts coming forward to discuss this. Am I better off selling now that my portfolio is down roughly 15%, or did I just make the worst decision of my life? I bought it when it was too late. In addition to a decrease in 24-hour volume, the data also reveal that sentiment in the space is neutral. Not much has happened in the market as of late. This very second, there is a current merging of the red and green hues. Once again, these percentages are quite tiny, only between 1% and 5%. This is usually the case. With those three charts out of the way, I have something more to share with you. The final halving occurred in the middle of May 2020. Midway during May. In 2020, I was curious whether there was a previous halving of Bitcoin. We can quickly find that up, May 11, 2020. Permit me to only hurl something in this direction. Using the 4-hour chart as an example, I will now present the daily chart once more. The combined market caps of these three assets contain everything that isn't part of Bitcoin and Ethereum. And perhaps, midway through May 2020. Where were you on May 10th, or did I say something else entirely? May 10th to 11th, give or take, in case you forgot. The last time Bitcoin was halved was at the end of April 2024. Although we still have less than 2 months left, it has been approximately 45 days since we had it. We'll say it's been 6 weeks. Days, a little bit more or a little bit less, will remain vague here. Allow me to demonstrate our current position with respect to the previous halves and the total market value. The last time we moved up was 45 days ago in 2020, when the market increased by about 20% following the halving. Check out the amount of games that still need to be played in this market. On average, it's 1600%. Here we can see the average gain for all cryptocurrencies excluding Ethereum and Bitcoin. Several cryptocurrencies have the potential to reach much higher prices. Based on what we talked on Patreon.com Working Money, I have diversified the 15,000 plus portfolio. Just one more reason this market still has a ways to go. Remember how the BIS found that XRP holders had the highest levels of education in a research they released 3 years ago? I know I've reported on this previously, but I thought you could use a little boost, so I thought I'd share it with you. Reason being, the value of your XRP is not changing. Even some mysterious online entity wasn't the source, according to the BIS. According to a BIS-conducted study, exam, and survey, XRP and Ethereum have the greatest average levels of education and intelligence among cryptocurrency owners. After that, there are Bitcoin Cash holders, and finally, Stellar, EOS, and Bitcoin. By the way, those who held Litecoins tended to be the least educated. That didn't sound very cerebral, did it? It's a shame we're analytical thinkers because we sometimes miss the forest for the trees. In addition, we must pay close attention to micro-regulation. The entire cryptocurrency industry was the topic of my conversation with a bank employee last night. "Hey, what's your occupation?" I inquired as I shifted my gaze to him. As far as the banking is concerned, he claims he isn't involved much. Financial technology is one of my professions. Oh, I feel like I could start a conversation with this individual. We started talking. "Do you guys deal in cryptocurrencies?" was my first thinking. Nothing of the like is within our purview. Except I'm going, and you're a financial technologist. Were you aware of the Ripple company? I intend to go there. Is he going now? Absolutely not. We have nothing to do with cryptocurrency or any similar market. Way to go, dude. Working at a bank that specializes in financial technology means you get to shape the future. My heart sank when I heard that. However, this is simply the current state of affairs. Certainly, other regions of the world will prove to be more prosperous than North America. Additionally, we must rectify the time we have lost. Even more so, Circle executives are speculating that the euro stable currency will begin to grow once market laws are put into place. Plus, it's scheduled to happen in about 2 weeks. Patrick Hansen, who is the issuer of the USD and euro stable coins, is here today to share his confidence about the continued value increase of euro-based stable coins in the days to come. Euro stablecoins are involved in 1.1% of all transactions, according to Hansen's research of X. Having grown from practically nothing a few years ago, I am positive that this statistic mentioned by the CEO is at an all-time high. However, the US dollar remains the medium of exchange for over 90% of stablecoin transactions. This number will undoubtedly fall as more issuers seek to establish themselves in Europe and introduce stable currencies there. However, a big hurdle to expansion is the American Congress's sluggishness in drafting and implementing stablecoin legislation. U.S. Security Commission head Gary Gensler and the Commissioner have both been accused of utilizing enforcement as a method of ruling. So that's the US scenario. The EU is dealing with something totally different. The area's relationship with stablecoins and cryptocurrency is likely to change drastically following years of improvement. The crypto asset market, furthermore referred to as micro-regulation, will be able to be enforced beginning June 30th, after being authorized in April 2023. In an effort to regulate the market for digital assets among its member states, it provides a comprehensive framework. It would appear that the BRICS nations are acting independently, but perhaps the West will welcome the new century with this, and Europe will be the first to witness it. If successful, it might be a gateway for the cryptocurrency industry into Western markets. I am crossing my fingers that it is the catalyst this crypto wave needs. Also mentioned by Michael Branch is the $102.6 million fine associated with the Ripple SEC case. It seems like that's where we'll land now. The SEC Commissioner has addressed Ripple Labs' request for a reduced penalty in the ongoing XRP matter. As a more reasonable number, Ripple suggested a fine of $10 million. Making reference to the Terraform Labs. I penned a small piece about it last week. An initial $2 billion final judgment was sought by the SEC against Ripple. The Ripple's lawyers, unsurprisingly, thought that was totally ridiculous. Officials from the appropriate regulatory agencies have verified that Terraform Labs has agreed to dissolve all of its Bitcoin holdings, compensate investors handsomely, and remove 2 board members who were in control throughout the violation. That is the arrangement they reached, but they are also demanding payment from the retail investors whose rights were violated in the Ripple case. Over X, this is Stuart Alvarado commenting on it. It has come to our attention from Michael Branch as well, so Pseudo may now claim that his company is thriving and that no victims have to pay. The senior lawyer representing Ripples also claims that the SEC has backed down from its demand for $2 billion in fines and penalties. The company made use of the Terraform Labs instance that I featured last week. Because of this, we are essentially going over old ground. That is the end of the video. It would mean a lot to me if you could subscribe and like my channel. Thank you so much. Leave.